Hang on a second. Okay, hello everybody. This is the interview that we're doing for the Paranormal Roundtable with Catalina Martinez, who is a paranormal investigator and all kinds of things actually. But you could read about that in the description. So I'm gonna get started here. Okay, hang
Okay.
on just a second. There you
Oh,
go.
there
Okay,
she goes.
I'm still here. I'm just. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, Catalina, who is my
See.
good friend, and we do readings together on Monday nights. So just so you guys know. Um, okay, so the first question that I want to ask, and we've been asking everybody that we're interviewing the same question because I want to know what everybody thinks about this question. Uh,
Okay.
Russ and I recently found a article regarding some scientists who say that the afterlife is not real. That when we die, and there is nothing more. So, as a paranormal investigator and as a shaman and all the other good things that you do, what is your opinion on that?
Well, I guess it depends on how you were raised. If your parents believed in a heaven or in a hell or in a purgatory or whatever, or if your parents are atheists and so on, um, you're gonna believe or not believe if there is such places, an afterlife. Myself, I believe that there is an afterlife. Um, we don't just die and disappear into nothingness and our molecules just go away, goodbye. I suppose that could be true for some people, ghosts, whatever. um, I believe that a heaven could be anything that a person would love to, or they would love to go after they die. Like somebody might want to die and wake up in the beautiful fields of flowers and mountains and grand trees and things like that, and laying on the beach somewhere in a Pacific island and just loving it. That would be their heaven. Maybe their family are there to greet them, pets, you name it. It's whatever you think, or whatever you think you're going to see when you get over there. If you lived a good life, um, then you have nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry about, no, you're going to go to hell, whatever. I mean, I don't believe that there is a hell. And maybe for some people, hell is what you make it. If you were an evil person when you lived, in this realm, and you die, and then you go, maybe you don't even want to die, but then you go reluctantly, you get taken out for whatever reason. You're going to end up in a horrible place where, say, this person was very abusive and violent and murderous and did all these horrible, horrible things to people, were cruel and so on. They're going to die and fall into that experience on the other side, or in that realm that they find themselves in. It could be all completely darkness and other evil entities all around them. That would be their hell. And then just repeating it over and over and over again with no peace, no nothing, no light. Um, so that's my beliefs. I believe when I pass, I'll be met with my ancestors, my loved ones who are already over there, my parents and brothers, and I've got all kinds of aunts and uncles. I've got a lot of family on the other side, and that's just in this lifetime. But I believe in that. Yeah, that I will be met by my ancestors and um, maybe the goddess as well. Hey, I believe in the
Yeah,
goddess. I believe in God,
yeah.
Jesus, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and so on. So that's my feelings.
All right. Actually, Kat. I mean, you are kind of on the same page in that area. So yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get to the actual first question that I wanted to ask is
Okay.
when you've walked into haunted locations or proposed haunted locations, um, when you first walk in the door into any location that you go to, what is your sense or where you get the spirit activity or anything like that, what is it that you how does it come to you? That's what I'm trying to say. How does it
Y-
come to you?
How do I feel when I say I walk into a haunted location or somebody's home that
Yes.
we've been called to? Um, well, being psychic sensitive, I'm going to feel whatever's in the location, whatever's in that home. Say we get called, or I get called to a family's home, and they're having a lot of discord within the place. There's paranormal activity. There's maybe they're being attacked, psychically attacked, or scratched, or bruised, or having nightmares, and so on. All that stuff, and it's quite possible that there's constantly fighting and bickering with the within the family unit. Say the mother and the father are constantly at each other's throats, so to speak, and maybe he's an alcoholic and she is too, or whatever the case may be. There's going to be a lot of heavy residue, a lot of negative energy that's hanging around in there. um, so, and then the vulnerable ones, say the young kids, they're going to be affected too. And so with that type of energy and that, see, if they're into alcohol and drugs, there is an attachment usually involved. And so that's going to be a lot of the cause for the discord and the heaviness in there. So I will feel it as soon as I walk in. I'll take note, and a lot of times it's if it's a really heavy duty negativity, I feel like, oh, I feel like prickly sensation, nauseous, light neck or on my arms, or and usually the biggest sign is that there's a I feel like I just got hit in the solar plexus, and uh, that's usually the red flag for me. So yeah, that's how it is for
Can
me.
you Okay, can you tell the difference between say it's a loved one that's come to visit or it is a ghost? Can you tell the difference usually?
You mean between a spirit and a ghost,
Well, yeah,
or what?
like say it like it's a loved one. You don't feel like there's any negativity to it. It's just like, you know.
No, you'll feel a warmth and a peaceful energy. They're not going to be the ones to normally, be attacking anybody. They'll be there to maybe reassure their loved ones that they're there, and they're
Mhm.
watching over them, right?
Right.
So you'll get a warmth feeling. You'll get a peaceful feeling.
Okay. And now, you know, and I know that a lot of people think just because they feel something like that or they see something, they believe automatically that's a ghost. And I mean, I know that's not true. Um, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Um, well, there is a difference between a spirit and a ghost.
Hmm.
A spirit is going to be someone who's just passed passed away, and if they've been a good person all their life, they're not gonna they're gonna cross over. They're gonna travel through the tunnel of light and end up in the higher up astral plane, and be at peace. They have the ability to travel to different realms. They have the ability to visit loved ones and reassure them that they're fine and they're there.
Hmm.
um,
Okay.
and give messages if they need to give a message. It would be um, through dreams. They can pop in dreams and show you symbolically, whatever they're trying to get across to you, or card readings. You can get a message through the cards, and to reassure that their loved one that they're okay or whatever. If they can get the message across, they will, or through
Right.
a medium like yourself, and you'll be
Right.
able to
And like
give them the
yourself.
message that they need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a ghost, that's an entirely different thing. So a ghost is a earthbound spirit, dead people, lost souls. They choose to remain in this realm of life and without crossing over. So if that's the case, then they've lived a really dark, evil life in this reality, and they were cruel and heartless, no remorse for anything that they've done to anybody, and so a lot of times they fight death. And I've heard stories from various nurses that I know, friends that they they hated working the night shift because a lot of times that's when people would pass,
Yeah.
and sometimes they would be screaming until their last breath, and you can just imagine what they saw,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
they were seeing. That gives me the willies. It gives me the
Yeah.
chills just to consider.
Right.
uh, so if this person was evil and maybe they were murdered by some other evil person that they were associated with, and um, they die a violent death, they'll remain in the location where this took place, and they'll be tormented for the rest of their, well, that's not a life, but they'll be there stuck and unable to uh, go on to their next
Right.
journey. So um, yeah, so they reap the rewards, so to speak, when they according to the life that they lived.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if they were ugly and cruel and mean and murderous and rapists and whatever, they're going to be stuck. And then that's the energy you're going to feel wherever you go and the
Yeah.
location that you're at. It's going to be a heavy, nasty feeling. And that's not eh, that doesn't feel good.
Mm.
But
Oh.
you'll sense it. I mean, I sense it, and hey,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
So, okay. So, as a psychic investigator, what would be your process of, you were talking about malevolent spirits and that kind of thing.
yeah.
What would be your process of cleansing the location of the dark energy?
Well, Well, number one thing before you even go to say you already know that you're going to a place that has a lot of dark energy there, and crazy paranormal activity, and such like that. You don't ever go into any investigation with fear. That's not a good thing, because then they see that, and these ghosts and entities are going to see this, and they're going to start messing with you right off the top.
Right.
So I would say, number one, that I would not put myself in a position to try and handle getting rid of evil or dark negative energies like that, because that's not a good idea. You always need a backup, so you need somebody else who's has just as much knowledge and wisdom as you do, and who you feel safe and secure knowing that they're going to be there for you, that they're going to help you through. And usually it's good to have a friend as a medium who can
Mm-hmm.
see what's going on, and then that's usually how I work with, and I've done that with you already,
Yes.
uh, Sandy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we work very well together. So,
Yes, we do.
but I would use um, my shaman drum, uh, sage, and Palo Santo,
Well, yes.
to smudge. Yeah, and I would also get some holy water and boil up some holy water with Himalayan sea salt. And if you've got
Mm-hmm.
100% rose oil, essential rose oil, I would put some drops in there as well, or even frankincense and myrrh, and I'd have that in a spray bottle, and I would just be going pss, pss, pss,
Yeah.
because they don't like that, and I've done it before.
Yeah, they don't like it.
Um, no, and I would take my newly acquired bamboo chimes, and this is a very
Mm-hmm.
harmonious
Why
chime,
don't you
and
go?
I love
Why
it.
don't you go
And
show people what you're talking about, Cap?
I don't know,
And
can you
they're,
hear it?
yeah, and they're all based on what, the Earth elements, aren't they?
So there's four of them. So there's earth, air, fire, and
Water.
water. And this
Yeah.
one is earth. and they have a different tone to it. And so they hate the sound of harmonious things, and that's what I would take with me too. And this is my I made this wand. This is my
Now, wouldn't you
I'm not
say that's true that they don't like purity? You know, the
oh
pure
no,
thing.
heck
Yeah.
no. They don't no, they don't want anything that has to do with light and love and that's a a big plus. You walk into a place and you shield yourself before you go in and you bubble up. That's what I call it. So
Yeah.
you're going to surround yourself within an egg of a divine white light or ultraviolet light. It's the most brightest of all,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
would surround yourself within an egg of it, and you smudge yourself, you heal yourself, you do whatever you can. You can take a sea salt bath before you even go,
Yeah.
and just
Or
prepare.
wear crystals. Yeah.
Yeah, and wear crystals. You can wear a cross, not a crucifix with Jesus on it, but a cross,
Yes.
preferably gold, and other keep other chain, uh, beautiful gemstone necklaces that like labradorite. I prefer that. This is my moonstone, and that moonstone's
Yes.
good. Also obsidian. So
Yes. I wear an obsidian necklace quite often, actually,
yeah,
especially when we're doing readings because you just don't know the kind of energy that you're bringing in when you invite these people to
oh, that's
be,
so true.
yeah, to be on with you because they may be having a really challenging time in their life and you
And
need
it comes
something to
through.
protect you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, actually,
So
for those of you that are listening to this show, um, Kat and I were doing readings the other night, and something was there with her because it kept going across the screen as a dark, kind of like a dark see-through window almost. But
a veneer or some sort. Yeah, that was so bizarre. I mean, I would turn around and turn on my other lights behind me to see, okay, that's going to brighten up. No, then it would just come right back, this film of gray or whatever. It
right,
didn't matter what I did. So I grabbed my chime over here and I started ringing it.
yeah, she did.
And eventually it went away. But then I got so that was the same reading that we just did recently, and
Yes,
then there was like 3 times there was these loud bangs on my door because I had my door shut, and it was like, what the heck? So after we were done, we shut down the broadcast and we were finished. I got up to go ask my roommate who's across the room, across the hall from me, and I asked her. I said, "Hey, I've got a question." I said, "Were you pounding on my door?" I was just about to, get a little upset about that. And then she goes, "No, I've been in here this whole time." And I said, "Well, was Fiona in here? Maybe she jumped on the door, but she's not that heavy duty to make that loud of a bang." So that
right.
tripped
She's a
me
little
out.
kitty.
And she's a little thing. So, and the way that it sounded, it was like more at the middle of the door and the top part of the door. So it wasn't her. And so, and then I got to thinking about that and I mentioned it to Sandy and she goes, "Man, that's crazy." I go, "I know." And then it occurred to me that it wasn't trying to come in, but because I had just rang that my chimes and I was clearing the room, it was
Right.
trying to get out.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, all righty then."
Well,
So
yeah. Well, it was
yeah, that
weird
was crazy.
because most spirits can just kind of go through the wall, so you have to worry. But for some reason, this thing it was almost like locked in, and it couldn't get out, and it was
That was
freaking.
weird.
Yeah, that spirit, whatever it was, it was freaking out. It wanted out
Yeah.
of there. So yeah, that's pretty wild.
Well, yeah,
Um,
and I had sage too, and I got my stones and all that. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they don't like all that stuff. They're kind of very annoyed by crystals and saging and Palo Santo and anything else
All
you
of
can
that.
think of that we use as tools.
I would
But yeah,
also right.
go
I
ahead.
would also use prayers. That was another thing I forgot to say.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would use prayers, and you call in the higher powers, and then let they will do with them as they see fit. And
Yes.
so it's
Yeah.
not in our hands. We just say, "Please come and assist us," and we do what we can on our side.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah,
Well, you know that a lot of paranormal teams or even paranormal individuals they don't really use what we do that often in their investigations. I think because they don't want us to take away their investigation stuff.
yeah,
But I don't know about you. I'm going to ask you about this real quick before we get on to the next question. But
okay.
what is your like? What would you? say about keeping spirit ghosts in general stuck in a location um, because you want to investigate them.
I don't agree with that at all. I mean, and then if you got these teams or somebody in a team,
Mm-hmm.
say they go to you go to investigate a place or specifically somebody's personal home that is having problems with activity. Excuse me, and then you they so usually they have the families leave, and then they go in there and say, okay, we're going to take care of this, and then they start getting, they want to be clowns and start provoking and taunting whatever's in there. They don't know. uh that's not, that is not cool. So they want to maybe get what you call it, proof that there
Yeah.
is this or that in the home, and they want to be all, hey man, I'm all right, I'm good, and look what we did. And no, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times they're showing disrespect, and they're being rude, and that's just, you know, that's not fair to treat, you know, spirits. Maybe it's just a some kid who died and you know, without mean, well, you know, something happened and the kid dies, and
Yeah.
so there's they're making noise and trying to get somebody's attention because he, you know, he's scared. It could be anything like that. So but then to start having some guys come in and start taunting, show yourself, you afraid, don't be afraid, or you know, whatever they say.
Right.
I don't like that. That is so wrong. And then they
Mm-hmm.
leave and they report to the family, say, "Hey, we got it all done. Everything is good." And so the
Yeah.
people believe them, and they go back into their homes. And maybe that same night it just gets worse, you know,
Yes.
because they've taunted and they acted stupid. And I don't like that. That's a
Yeah.
big no as far as I'm
Well,
concerned.
that
So
okay. Now, as an investigator myself, psychic investigator actually, there's certain times that we will get EVPs that say "help me" or "help
yeah,
me," you know, get or
yeah,
or they might say "get out." Well, the thing is there's going to be some ghosts that do not want to leave. They want to stay. It's their choice. They have free will to stay or not. However, then there's the other ghosts that you go into these big locations and people have investigated the location to death, basically. No pun intended. But yeah, they've investigated it so much that they know it's haunted. They know that there's spirits there. Um, and some of these spirits are saying get out. Well, they're just trying to uphold their own privacy in that
yeah,
space. And then there's other ones that we get that say help. And I personally, I don't know about your opinion, Kat, because we'll get that from you here in a second. But my opinion is that if they're saying help, there's a reason because they're stuck there and didn't mean to be there or
yeah.
something happened and they ended up
Right,
getting remaining there in the earthly
right.
planes. What is your idea thought about that?
Like you said, it could have been somebody who died unexpectedly, say. Uh, Maybe they accidentally took too much of their medication. They didn't do it on purpose, but they just
Right,
didn't remember because of the type of medication it might have been, whatever the case may have been. So they're like they don't know that they're dead. Perhaps could be the part of the problem for them. Or maybe they do realize they're dead and they don't want to be. They want to get out of there. They want to you know, move on to the next journey, and that would be, you know, into the light rather than being stuck in some four walls with, you know, whatever.
right,
So I would, if I would do my best to help them in that case. If it doesn't feel like it's a negative energy and something trying to trick you,
right,
well, always, number one, feel with your heart, listen with your heart, because your mind's going to trick you because it's part of the matrix. But the heart, I would consider that as, you know, that's a more spiritual energy that comes from
right.
through our hearts, from our hearts.
Well,
So I would do my best to try to help that person or find out what you can. Whoever it is saying help, you know, get their
mm-hmm.
name, or if you can, and go from there.
Yeah, very good. Actually, you asked my next question. You answered my next question already, so I'm not going to go to it.
Okay.
But uh, there's so much that we have yet to learn. Even as mediums, we communicate with spirits and stuff, but there's certain things that they can say, and they can't say. Because if they disrupt your destiny on the earthly plane, then you know you'll be thinking too much about, I don't know, for instance, dying, or too much about what it's like, or
Yeah.
hell or heaven or whatever you believe in. And so that's why a lot of times we don't, um, I don't know, don't do some of those things that we should be doing, like transitioning these spirits that are asking for help. And I'm hoping that the paranormal investigators out there realize that these are people that we need to start realizing their feelings as well. So
Right.
when you're communicating with spirits, it's a very good idea to just keep that in your mind. Remember that they. How would you like to be stuck in a house for the rest of your eternity? Whether these
Right.
people move on or they die or whatever, and they go to the next life, those people are still going to be stuck there.
Yeah. I
And
mean, yeah, if you can help them cross, that's the best thing.
yes,
And then they can go on in peace and then be out of that
right,
limbo, so to
right.
speak.
Kat, thank you so much for coming and doing this interview with me, because Russ would
Yeah.
have been here, but he's not feeling well today, so he's laying down. But
Oh,
when everybody hears this, everybody will be put into the video of interviews, and
oh,
that'll be really cool because you'll get to hear everybody's take on different questions that we ask them. And
oh, that's cool.
this is, yeah, I think it's a really interesting way of getting everybody's opinions out there, and hopefully a lot of investigators will watch and kind of think about some of the things that us old timers tell you.
Yeah, we all
Because
have different techniques.
yes, nothing is right or wrong. It's just how you perceive, how you want to perform the investigation, or how you want to encounter the spirits, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so
I think that the only wrong thing could be that the part of where team members are harassing the dead, so to
yeah,
speak. So
that's
that
not
would
a good thing. But
no,
you know,
but
a lot of it's all about entertainment now, and that worries me. I mean, yeah, I see
yeah,
nothing wrong with having your own paranormal show or whatever, video wise, and I
right,
think it's a great idea because you get a lot of information out there. But let's all make sure that we're getting giving out the right information, not like a
right,
Halloween kind of ghouls and goblins kind of story behind the paranormal,
yeah,
because some is scary, some of it is, but
yeah, yeah,
a lot of it
but not
isn't.
all of it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So,
So,
well,
all
thank
right.
you for having me. That
Thank you,
was
honey.
fun, and I look forward to seeing this round table discussion.
Yeah, it'll be coming out September 8th. I'm not
Okay.
sure the time yet, so yeah.
All
All
right.
right. I'm
Well,
gonna
cool. Thanks, girl.
end this interview.
All right. Bye.